Pablo, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? How's things, Pablo? Mike, good to see you. How you doing, Mike? How you been? Good day, brother. Camel, good to see you, brother. How you doing? How you been? Woodhouse, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Artistic, good to see you. How you doing? Hi, Miles. How you doing? How you been? How's it going? It's going great, Woodhouse. How's it going for you? How's things? Dennis, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? What's up, brother? Billo, good to see you, brother. How you doing? How you been? So let's do a breakdown. By the time everyone tunes in, let's do a breakdown of what we're going to be going from tonight's episode. Good evening, Miles and CMF. Free and forever. Good to see you. How you doing? How you been, brother? So let's do a breakdown of what we're going to be talking about on tonight's episode of the CMF Live. On episode, by the way, 223 we're on right now, which is incredible. Peter, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Good evening, everyone. Butch, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Well, thank you. Let's go, Woodhouse. Hello, Miles and family. Covetous, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? So, morning, Miles and CMF. Shelly, good to see you all. Morning, how you doing? How you been? Joe, evening, Miles and CMF. Good to see you all. Joe, how you doing? How you been? Here's a breakdown of what we're going to be talking about on tonight's episode of the CMF Live, episode 223. We're going to be talking about Donald Trump on tonight's live because apparently Donald Trump wants to eliminate anything standing in front of crypto when it comes to the United States, which is incredible. I'm standing right behind him. We're also going to be talking about the NASDAQ on tonight's live because the NASDAQ has one listed company on the NASDAQ has just announced another massive Bitcoin purchase, another company following essentially MicroStrategy's footsteps we're going to talk about. We're also going to be talking about Grayscale, essentially going through another trust they're creating essentially. Grayscale has been creating quite a lot of altcoin trust, you could say. We're also going to be talking about Anthony. Now, we've talked about Anthony before. He's the founder and managing partner of Skybridge Capital. He's came out with his new perspectives that he essentially did an interview on what he perceives, moving into 2025, what's going to be happening, what countries are going to be involved in following the crypto footsteps of America. So we're going to talk about that on tonight's live. We're also going to be talking about Japan on tonight's live in terms of their Bitcoin reserve plans, because even Japan's market space is thinking about following Donald Trump's footsteps and creating some sort of a Bitcoin reserve and following America's footsteps in general. China is also thinking about doing that as well. So we're going to go through that on tonight's live as well. We're also going to be talking about Spain on tonight's live. Spain has a Spanish bank has decided to allocate 2% of essentially their portfolios into cryptocurrency. So I'm going to talk about which crypto they've chosen precisely. We're also going to be talking about the Bank of England on tonight's live as well. The Bank of England has asked a lot of companies to come forward if they are holding any sort of crypto assets, because we're getting very close to rules and regulations happening inside the United Kingdom and pretty much everywhere else around the world. We're also going to be talking about French Hill. Now, I've talked about Representative French Hill essentially yesterday and the day before, that how he's essentially been chosen as the House Representative seat. And we're going to be talking about what's in stock. What are essentially his plans for the crypto space is what we haven't went over. We talked about how he's chosen, how he's pro-crypto, but now we have a glimpse of what plans he has for the United States going forward in 2025 in the first 100 days. And what he's going to be doing for the crypto space. We're also going to be talking about Pandora's founder, because Pandora's founder has came out and essentially said that Bitcoin is better than gold as a reserve asset. So we're going to go through that on tonight's live as well. Pandora's Capital did an interview on CNBC. We're also going to be talking about VanEck. Now, recently I revealed Bitwise's perspective, where he talked about 10 things Bitwise is predicting will happen in 2025 when it comes to the crypto space in the United States market space. Now we're going to be talking about essentially predictions from VanEck on what's to come in 2025 for the crypto space. We're also going to go through news topics on tonight's live regarding Society Generale. Society Generales and Banque de France, the Central Bank of France, have conducted some sort of blockchain transactions when it comes to lending and borrowing. So we're going to go through that on tonight's live as well. We're also going to be talking about the Bank of England in terms of their CBDC. The Bank of England has released another documentation today on their own official website regarding CBDCs, regarding how much testings they've done, what stage they're at right now. They also talked about essentially what the rest of the world is, the steps the rest of the world has taken in terms of their central bank activities, in terms of wholesale CBDCs, retail CBDCs, what levels we're at. We're also going to be talking about Ripple on tonight's live, but towards the end of the live. And I'll reveal what the Ripple news is once we get to it. So, mixture of news to go from tonight's live regarding Spanish Bank, Bank of England, China, Japan. Mixture of news to go from tonight's live. Perspectives from VanEck, Donald Trump, French Hill. So, before we go for any of those news topics, the first one we are going to be covering is regarding Donald Trump. I just want to say to everyone, welcome to the CMF Live. If you're watching this for the first time ever, welcome. If you're a regular, welcome as well. And this live stands for Crypto Mouse Family. In this live, I talk about the most recent news that's happening around the world in terms of cryptocurrencies, CBDCs, AI, politics, regulations. Vital information for you to know about regarding the world completely transforming into a digital space. We also do Q&As on this live as well, which means if you do have any questions, put it down inside the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. And a disclaimer of this live, as always, is not financial advice, not political advice, and whatever I say is only for entertainment purposes. So, if you're watching this for the first time ever, welcome to the CMF Live. And if you're a regular, let's go CMF. I just want to say also, thank you so much to everybody that's retweeted this live. Thank you so much to... Get some weirdos in the comment section. Thank you so much to everybody that's retweeted this live because I got notifications on X. Thanks so much for the retweets, likes, and comments outside the live. And thanks so much to everyone on YouTube who's liking this video as well. So, before we go through the first news, which is regarding Donald Trump, let's go straight inside the comment section first, and then we'll go straight to the first news. Even though I was a CMF, Joe, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Good evening, Miles, brother Miles and CMF family. Funky brother, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Good evening, Miles. How's it going, brother? Kelly, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Hi from Malaysia. Good to see you. Shakira, good to see how you been. Do we have any news on XRP? Yes, we do, but towards the end of the live. First, Miles, hello, Miles and CMF. Scott, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Semper, evening, Miles and CMF peeps. Good to see you. Semper, how you doing? How you been? T, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? So, first news on tonight's live is regarding Donald Trump. And it's good news because, good evening, Miles and CMF. Tanner, good to see you, brother. How you doing? How you been? Long time, Tanner. Now, Donald Trump. Donald Trump is considering essentially eliminating any U.S. institutions that view cryptocurrencies at risk. So any U.S. department that is essentially against cryptocurrencies, Donald Trump wants to completely get rid of them. So Donald Trump's transition team is outlining ambitious plans that could lead to a major overhaul of the banking regulation. Key proposals include the potential elimination of the regulatory bodies such as the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, the FDIC. Apparently, Donald Trump wants to get rid of the FDIC. I think it's brilliant news. These recommendations are being explored by the newly formed Department of Government Efficiency, which is working closely with the advisories and including Elon Musk. So that DOGE, essentially department that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramsey created under Donald Trump, is now looking into should the FDIC even exist. The FDIC has the only thing they've essentially achieved is stifling cryptocurrency innovation in America. So if they do get rid of the FDIC, we're going to be popping champagne bottles because those morons in that department are the only ones that were essentially stifling banks from getting involved with the crypto space in America. So if they get rid of the FDIC, amazing. The transition team suggests transferring the responsibilities of the deposit insurance from the FDIC to the Treasury Department. This significant shift would essentially necessitate the congressional approval and may represent an unprecedented move in the U.S.'s history to dismantle an existing agency. Bank executives express optimism about the potential reductions in capital requirements and consumer regulations. Yet some professionals argue that the FDIC-backed insurance is vital for financial stability. Trump's recent comments include a desire to be at the forefront of crypto adoptions, suggesting a particular focus on the cryptocurrency market space as a part of these proposed changes. Potential abolishment of key banking regulations. Transfer of deposit insurance to the Treasury could require congressional approval, and support from the crypto sector for less regulation amidst ongoing scrutiny. Despite the enthusiasms from some transition team members, experts warn that these drastic changes may face significant opposition from both the political sphere and the banking industry. The proposed adjustments could lead to fundamental reconstructing of regulatory frameworks, emphasizing the importance of careful deliberations regarding financial stabilities. Okay, here's the thing. Not a single bank is standing with the FDIC. Some banks even hate the idea of essentially the FDIC even existing in the first place, because all they do is tell banks what they can and can't do. And yes, some banks do sometimes cross the line, and an organization like the FDIC is there to, not let them cross the line. But an organization like the CFTC is also there so they don't cross the line. An organization like the SEC is also there so they don't cross the line. There's a lot of organizations that do the exact same job inside of American, essentially, politics. So maybe getting rid of the FDIC is not a bad idea. Also, Trump getting rid of anything that stands in front of crypto, incredible. Absolutely incredible. The FDIC chairman was definitely standing in front of crypto, because one of the reasons crypto projects couldn't work with banks or get bank accounts in America was because of the chairman of the FDIC, who's also resigning. And now the entire department is going to disappear. Incredible. Honestly, if you wanted things to be more bullish, well, Trump is about to get rid of anything standing in front of crypto. 2025 is going to be absolutely ballistic. We're just going to be making money left, right, and center. Now, moving on essentially from Trump getting rid of useless departments in American politics to NASDAQ. The NASDAQ-listed giant company announces massive Bitcoin purchases. Another company has came forward and decided to follow MicroStrategy's footsteps in acquiring a lot of Bitcoin for themselves. Riot Platforms is this company. Now, Riot Platforms is also a massive Bitcoin mining industry and a lending Bitcoin mining company as well. It announced today that it had purchased 5,117 Bitcoins between December 10th and December 12th, but they kept very quiet about it. The purchase, valued at approximately $510 million, was made at an average price of $99,699 per Bitcoin. Including fees and expenses, the purchase brings Riot's total BTC holdings to around 16,728 Bitcoins. The purchase were essentially funded using a portion of their net proceeds from the company's 0.75% convertible senior notes. And due to 2013 existing cash reserves, Riot's shares rose more than 7% following the announcements coming through. The Bitcoin purchase comes after a difficult third quarter for Riot, which reported a net loss of $154.4 million. The loss was attributed to higher operational costs and unrealized essentially investment losses. Along with the decline in the company's hash rate targets, Riot lowered its 2025 essentially hash rates targets from 56.6 hash rates per second to around 46.7%. And Riot's decline comes despite the price of Bitcoin reaching all-time highs this year. Putting that to the side, Riot still had essentially more money to invest, and they decided to go back into Bitcoin. Another company following MicroStrategy's footsteps is busy what's happening, but $570 million in one investment is a good investment. Now, moving on, essentially from Riot Platforms following MicroStrategy's footsteps, we're going to be talking about Grayscale. Grayscale has decided to essentially open their doors to another trust. And before I reveal which crypto project they've chosen, let's go inside the comment section first. As I said previously, this is a live, which means if you do have any comments, put it down inside the comment section. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you may have. So let's see what's going inside the comment section. Then we go straight into Grayscale's next chosen project for a trust line. Now, they do have an XRP trust, they have a HBAR trust, they have quite a lot of trusts, actually, Solana trust and so on. And now they have another one going on, Grayscale. So let's go inside the comment section first. We'll go straight into that news. Hello, CMF on YouTube. Good to see you as well. How you doing? Scott on YouTube. Share the live. Let's go, Scott. Facts. Miles, employees, how you doing? When staking will be available for XRP. You can stake your XRP right now on multiple platforms. It's not recommended, but you can do it. It's not financial advice as well when I say it's not recommended. Miles is 80,000 XDC. Good. It's a great amount. Evening, Miles and CMF. Pierce, good to see you as well. How you doing, brother? How you been? Evening, Miles and CMF. Jason, good to see you as well. How you doing, brother? How you been? Good morning, Miles and CMF. Ghost Burner, good to see you as well. How you doing? Manny, evening, Miles and CMF. Good to see you as well. Manny, how you doing? How you been? Sorry, bro. So, Grayscale. Grayscale opens another surprise to an altcoin to exclusive investors. Grayscale Investments has officially opened the Grayscale Trust line for Chainlink, the Link Trust, to qualified investors, providing exposure to Chainlink through essentially a regulated security structure. This move allows investors to own Link indirectly by bypassing the complexities of purchasing, storing, and managing the token directly. As of today, Grayscale Link Trust reported a net asset value per share of essentially $111 and an asset under management of 30 million, essentially plus $1 million. According to Grayscale's website, the Chainlink Trust represents one of the first securities to invest, especially and passively, for Link only. Shares of the trust are structured to track essentially the market price of Link, net of fees and expenses, and offer a very simplified investment plan. Chainlink is a native cryptocurrency of Chainlink's network, a decentralized core platform on the essentially Ethereum chain. The Chainlink network facilitates data sharing between off-chain systems and on-chain decentralized applications. Chainlink's also ERC-677 token standard provides a compatibility with Ethereum's infrastructures, further improving the integration into the broader blockchain ecosystem. And recently, Link's price has made indeed a significant progress in their trading periods. So, if you're somebody that's holding Chainlink, as I said previously, we discussed it yesterday as well, it does have a future for itself regarding Chainlink, if you are holding Chainlink. And a Chainlink trust has just now been created through Grayscale, which is incredible. Now, what a trust ends up becoming is an ETF. So all the Grayscale XRP trust, Grayscale essentially HBAR trust, Grayscale Solana trust, Grayscale Chainlink trust, and so on, they're all going to eventually become ETFs, is basically what's going to be happening. It's the next steps. Now, moving on essentially from Grayscale's newest announcements to Anthony. Now, if you're wondering who the hell is Anthony, well, Anthony, we've talked about him before. He's the founder and managing partner at Skybridge Capital. And he's talked about cryptocurrencies on CNBC, on Bloomberg. He does a lot of interviews talking about the market space from his perspective as a CEO of a blockchain company and an investment company. And here are essentially Anthony's next predictions on the market space on who's going to be entering it and who doesn't want to be left behind in 2025. Anthony predicts that China will rejoin the Bitcoin mining space by 2025, influenced by US digital currency policies. As I said previously, nobody wants to be left behind for America's footsteps. If Donald Trump wants to make America the capital of cryptocurrencies, the rest of the world is definitely going to be following. Anthony, the founder and managing partner of Skybridge Capital, recently projected significant changes in the global of cryptocurrency landscapes, particularly focusing on Bitcoin's role in US-China economic strategies. Speaking at the Bitcoin MENA 2024 conference, Anthony anticipated that China will re-engage with Bitcoin mining and investments by the end of 2025, influenced by pro-digital currencies and policies expected under Donald Trump's anticipated administration. Anthony argued that the US's evolving regulatory frameworks for digital assets would likely prompt essentially China to revisit its stance on cryptocurrencies, mirroring the competitive prevalent in the other trades and technology arenas between the two superpowers. There is no way, and I bet money on it, that if the US moves towards creating a street Bitcoin reserve, the Chinese are not going to be essentially left behind, is what Anthony said on a live interview. This is seen as essentially a part of a broader price matching race in cryptocurrency adoptions and regulations, a trend that is rapidly gaining global traction. In his disclosure, Anthony suggested that the forthcoming US regulations could serve as a benchmark for other nations, pushing them towards establishing similar essential legal frameworks for cryptocurrencies. This global ripple effect, good keyword there, this global ripple effect is anticipated to standardize and stabilize the crypto market space, enhancing the legitimacy and integration into mainstream financial systems. Moreover, Anthony predicted that China's reconsideration of its 2021 ban on cryptocurrency minings might be imminent, viewing it as a strategic move to accumulate Bitcoin reserves and not get left behind. This shift will align to China's broader economic strategies to not fall behind in terms of digital currency domain, especially as the US appears poised to enter the crypto space and become a crypto hub. He also went on to say on the live news, you're not going to be in a position in the world where the United States is moving towards Bitcoin and you're not, is what he said to China. He also said this essentially at a conference in United Arab Emirates as well, talking about the Chinese market space. This perspective is supported by other financial analysts and industry leaders who believe that lifting and essentially the banning of Bitcoin in China could follow the US's lead, ensuring a competitiveness that's going to be continuing forward. And also the Hashkey Group, the CEO of Hashkey Group, noted the potentials of Beijing to bolster its crypto sectors and counterbalance the US dominance. Furthermore, this decision by Chinese firms SOS Limited to integrate Bitcoin into its treasury underscores the proactive measures being taken by Chinese expertise and anticipated shifts in policy. As I said previously, the number one competitor to the American market space is China. China tried so hard when Sleepy Joe is still in power, but was in actual power, to overtake the American market space by creating this whole BRICS venture and creating, a basket of currencies to de-dollarize the US and so on. That really didn't work because now Trump is in power. That whole BRICS scenario is going to be going completely away, and it's starting to as well, to be fairly honest. But China is the biggest market space competitor to the American market space. So if America wants to become a capital hub, it makes China want to become a capital hub. And all of that just basically means, in very, very simple terms, more money for us. Because if America's market space, which means American businesses and banks, are going to compete inside the crypto space with Chinese businesses and banks, what they're going to compete with? Bringing more money to the table, which means if you're positioned correctly in correct projects that are going to be benefiting from the businesses coming in, institutions coming in, the regulations coming in, you're going to lose count of how much money you're going to be making, is basically the easiest way to put it. And that's just two market spaces. America does this, and which they're going to, because it's Trump. He says it, he does it. That's the only person I know in the history of politicians to ever say something and actually do it. Trump doing this, China, biggest market space, second ranking, following their footsteps, Japan, Hong Kong, the UK, the EU, the Middle East, everybody. Yeah, we're actually going to be losing count of how much money we're going to be making. That's how much money we're going to make. 2025 is going to be incredible. Now, moving on from the Chinese market space, following essentially Donald Trump's footsteps eventually, to Japan's market space, also thinking about following Donald Trump's footsteps, is causing a ripple effect. Japan's lawmakers, Satoshi, questions government plans for Bitcoin reserve. A lawmaker essentially in Japan's legislative named Satoshi Yamada has introduced questions for the government on the status of national Bitcoin reserve globally. Why? Because Donald Trump wants to do it. In a question submitted to the country's House of Councillors, Yamada asked the Japanese government to consider the status of understanding the movement to introduce a Bitcoin reserve, because the United States is doing it and so are other countries, he said. The lawmakers' questions directly cited attempts by US government officials and crypto prominents to introduce a street Bitcoin reserve in the country, claiming that such a move could add a tremendous amount of power to the market space. I believe that consideration should be given to this matter, and I would also like to hear the government's views, said essentially Yamada in a translated statement. Should Japan also introduce a system to convert part of its foreign exchange reserves into crypto assets, such as Bitcoin, for example? In the wake of the US elections, in which Republican lawmakers won a trifecta in the presidency, House of Representatives, and the Senate, crypto advocates seem to be pushing harder for the government to consider a strict Bitcoin reserve and crypto policies. Also one of Donald Trump's campaign promises. Lawmakers in Brazil, for example, have issued similar calls to use the cryptocurrency as a hedge against economic risks. According to his social media activity on X, Yamada has been closely following efforts in the US to introduce a strict Bitcoin reserve. He has tweeted posts about the American Political Action Committee created by Elon Musk and Tesla's CEO proposed Department of Government Efficiency, which is DOGE basically, which would likely be an advisory essentially committee, not a government department. Though Japan has one of the largest gross domestic products, GDPs, in the world, The country dropped from 3rd to 4th place in 2023, losing its position to Germany aimed at slowing economy. Most estimates essentially place Japan's GDP at more than $4 trillion, suggesting that if the government were to establish a Bitcoin reserve, it could benefit crypto holders. Yes, obviously, if Japan did create a Bitcoin reserve or did create, in their words, a crypto portfolio, they can climb that ladder back up again and claim their 3rd prize seating. Now, all I'm loving is the idea of countries going head to head, because we went from countries being against crypto assets, governments being against crypto assets, even though it was planned, to now governments competing on who's first to bring regulations, on who's first to create a crypto portfolio, and so on. Incredible. We went from nobody wants to touch crypto to now governments and politicians going head to head from every country onto who's going to be first to adapt cryptocurrencies. Amazing. And again, all of that just means more money, more money, more money for the retail section who are positioned correctly inside the crypto space. Now, moving on from China, Japan to Spain. A Spanish bank has decided to allocate 2% of its assets into one particular crypto asset. And that crypto asset is EP2S. But they're doing it through an EP2S staking ETP. So, Bitwise. Hunter Horsley, CEO of Bitwise, announced that a Spanish bank has allocated 2% of its holdings to Bitwise's EP2S staking ETP. Horsley stated that the adoption of cryptocurrencies is accelerating as traditional financial institutions integrate more crypto-savvy investors. He noted that the investment made through one of the bank's funds marks a significant step towards mainstream crypto adoption. The name of the bank has not been disclosed yet. Bitwise's asset manager launched the first ever EP2S staking exchange traded product, ETP, on Switzerland's SIX exchange. In November of this year, the investment vehicle is designed to deliver essentially an expected return of 4.7% by staking EP2S APT tokens, providing investors with regulated methods to earn passive income through participation in the blockchain activities. The launch of this product comes at a crucial period in the world of investments, of crypto investments, as Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETPs had been already introduced in the US. Meanwhile, network activity on EP2S has been on the uptrend. Data compiled by Nonson, for instance, revealed that the activity addresses on the network hit 1.2 million this month. The newly released Electric Capital Developer Report 2024 also ranked EP2S as the second fastest growing ecosystem in terms of overall developer activity. Comparing data from Q3 2023 to Q4 2024, EP2S experienced a whopping 96% growth in its development community. Despite the recent developments, EP2S spotters also price has not experienced a significant uptick in the past week. It saw a slight rise of 1.4%, but not drastic changes in any sort of a way so far. And also, crypto assets have experienced significant rallies in this month, and APT only gained a little over 16% during the same period. So, if you are somebody that is holding APT, great for you, because one particular Spanish bank, not their central bank, but a Spanish bank, is now holding APT, and they're actually staking it because they brought it as an APT staking from Bitwise. Now, Bitwise's CEO is the only CEO that reveals which companies are buying their essentially ETPs, because it's not the first time he's done this. So if anybody buys BlackRock's essentially Bitcoin ETF, BlackRock doesn't publicly state which company or which bank is buying their ETFs, unless there's an S1 filing from those particular companies themselves. Or if anybody buys essentially Franklin Templeton's or 21 Shares, ARK Invest, and so on, nobody's snitching on who their investors are. Bitwise's CEO is the only CEO that I've seen multiple times just publicly come out and state, this company is buying from us, or that bank is buying from us, and so on. I like that he does that, because we don't have to wait for the S1 filings to know who's buying what. But yeah, if you're somebody that's holding EPT, it's great news for you. But it also does show that banks in different jurisdictions are opening up to the idea of going towards crypto assets, even if it is the ETP. Now, the next news on tonight's live, moving on from China, Japan, Spain to the UK, because we have news from the Bank of England. We have two particular news from the Bank of England. One we'll go through now, one we'll go through later. But before we go through that, let's go inside the comment section first. Before we go for the Bank of England news, let's go inside the comment section first. Let's see what's going on in there. As I said previously, this is a live, which means if you do have any questions, put it down inside the comment section. I'd be more than happy to answer the questions you may have. So let's see what's going on inside the comment section first, and then we go straight afterwards into the Bank of England news regarding crypto assets and CBDCs. Let's see where we were at. We were at here. Miles, you are unbelievable, top man. Adi, thank you so much for the kind words. Hello, Miles and CMF. Stormy, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been, Stormy? How's things? Let's go, CMF. Scott, let's go. Miles is the GOAT. Let's go, Scott. Thanks so much for the kind words. What or who sets the price for RLUSD? Do you have an idea when it will become available? Regarding the price of RLUSD, it's following the dollar. So whatever the dollar is going to be sitting at, which is $1, is what the price of RLUSD is going to be. $1. It's pegged to the dollar and has assets backing it. And in terms of when it's going to be launched, Brad is the only one that knows exactly when it's going to be launched. Brad has said that he doesn't want for everybody inside the crypto space to not listen to any sort of random pages telling people, you know, it's going to be released tomorrow, the day after, and so on. You can have predictions and so on, but Brad said that he's going to be the one that announces when it's going to be activated. They do have a green light. They just need to launch it off the race now. But in terms of the price, it's going to be $1 because RLUSD is the digital dollars. So whatever the dollar sitting as pegged to it. Thoughts on HBAR and its impact during the market space. HBAR is going to do incredible as we move forward in 2025 as well. Due to regulations, HBAR is going to do incredible moving forward. With the banks and institutions coming from the American side and the rest of the world following America's footsteps, HBAR is going to do incredible. Absolutely incredible. I have been saying that institutions are trying to get rid of consumer investors. I read only where BlackRock has been suppressing the market and oil prices. Please expand on this. I've been saying that institutions are trying to get rid of consumer investors. I read only where BlackRock has been suppressing the market and oil prices. Regarding institutions suppressing essentially retail section, it happens all the time, but it's just about the retail section not falling for their dirty tricks. And there's a lot of dirty tricks that institutions do pull on the retail section, to be fairly honest. But the easiest way to do it is not fall for any sort of BS from these institutions, to be fairly honest. Or tune into this live and I'll tell you what part is BS from these corporates and what part isn't. Denise, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? I began to reduce my holdings. You shared in several programs that many cryptos will go away because of no utility use. Share more thoughts on this, please. That is true. I did say that the more we shift over to rules and regulations, the more you want to be positioned perfectly in utility crypto projects. The main purpose of, in general, why cryptocurrencies exist is utility. It's not buy, sell, quick profit, which a lot of people assume inside the crypto space. But slowly, a lot of people inside the crypto space are transitioning to the thought pattern that, okay, it's about utility now. It's no longer about buy, sell, quick profits, which is good. But in general, we're moving towards rules and regulations for the United States, which means the world is moving towards rules and regulations. As we just talked about right now, Spain, in terms of their banks holding crypto assets, great. Japan is thinking about following America's footsteps. China is thinking about unlocking and entering the crypto space one more time because they're the second biggest ranking computer out there. So in terms of positioning yourselves correctly, it is vital. And it is true. I did say to everybody inside the crypto space, everybody that watches this live, that we're getting rules and regulations, we're getting institutions and banks. So which means the next clientele entering the crypto space is institutions. And institutional money is not going to go towards random crypto projects. Institutions are not going to be lining up to buy meme coins, which a lot of people focused on still. Now, holding 1 or 2 meme coins is perfectly okay inside your portfolios, but no more than that is what I would suggest. And it's not financial advice in any sort of a way. But the only reason I'm saying this is because when the doors open, the rules and regulations coming, and it's going to be within the first 100 days. Within the first 100 days, we're going to get rules and regulations for the crypto space. America is going to be aiming for crypto hub within the first 100 days of Trump's presidency. America is going to become a crypto hub. So which means within the first 100 days, we're going to get rules and regulations, banks and institutions coming in for America's market space, and the rest of the world is going to be following. There's not a single institution that's lining up to buy, Donkey token or Camel token or Zebra token, they're all going to be lining up to buy legitimate assets. Therefore, you want to position yourselves correctly. Now, if you want to position yourselves even better inside the legitimate crypto asset space, because there's a lot of crypto projects that are legitimate, you know, there's AVAX, there's Chainlink, there's XRP, there's XLM, there's XDC, there's Solana, or there's Cardano, or there's Bitcoin, or there's Ethereum, or there's Neo. There's so many crypto projects, and you're thinking to yourself, well, there's a lot of legitimate crypto assets. Which ones are the institutions and the banks going to be aiming for exactly? Well, that's very simple. You're going to put them in categories. And the number one category is financial categories. So that's why I always say, one, position yourselves correctly, and two, the financial category is number one category. Money going digital is the first category. Everything else will follow behind them. Data will be following behind money, essentially the financial category, and then there's the Web3 category and the AI category, gaming categories, and so on. DCINs and the BPINs and the whatever the categories they're all behind them. But the financial category is where you want to position first. XRP, XLM, XDC, and HBO. As much as some people don't want to hear it, how can XRP be the chosen projects by the banks and the regulations coming through? Or how can, you know, XDC or XLM be better choices than some other crypto projects? Look, there's only one way to find out. And at the end of the day, we're going to find out who's going to be correct. But just a heads up, I've never been wrong. That's a bold statement to make, but because it's true. It's not because I'm cocky. Because I'm very, you know, happy about the wisdom God's given me. To be fairly honest, very happy about the wisdom God's given me. But not saying that towards Scott, but just in general, if anybody's watching this and going, well, how can XRP be the chosen one, or how can XLM be chosen one, or how can XDC be chosen one, or HBO, or whatever? Time will tell. But genuinely, I'm only saying this because I want everybody to be positioned correctly. The financial category is number one, with the banks and institutions coming in and the regulations. And the first 100 days is going to be critical. The moment Trump takes his seat, January 20th, the first 100 days are going to be extremely critical. For America's, essentially, footsteps into the crypto space, for regulations of banks and institutions, and for the rest of the world. The first 100 days will be the most critical days ever. I began reducing, so yeah. Miles, I'm getting a lag. Is it my computer? I think so, because my side is no lag. I read some research today. Please share your thoughts on HBO and ACH. HBO and ACH. HBO, excellent. No doubt about it. Multitude list of partnerships and contracts in place. ACH, multitude list of partnerships and contracts in place. And ACH and HBO have licenses as well. ACH has an incredible list of licensings in different states in America and outside the US as well. HBO also has some licenses going on as well. Same category, you know, ACH is the same category as financial category. Hi, Miles and family. Alex, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Join the CMF Telegram group. We are a family. Yes, we are Scott. Let's go facts. PDFs, PDFs, PDFs. That's all that matters, to be fairly honest. Yes, facts. Now, Banks of England. Banks of England. The Bank of England. The Bank of England is asking firms to disclose their crypto investments. So the UK is getting ready for crypto regulations and so on, which means they're getting ready for CBDCs. The UK government is asking crypto companies to disclose their crypto assets. The Bank of England's regulation authority has issued a data request asking firms to disclose their current and planned exposures to crypto assets. The statement requested firms to disclose their current and expected future crypto exposures and essentially to explain their use of crypto regulations and Basel frameworks, and these assets encompass essentially tokenized assets and stablecoins. Firms have until March 24th, 2025 to submit their responses. So the UK government is asking any crypto company that operates in the UK to disclose their crypto assets, and they have until March 24th, 2025. March 24th, 2025 is the limit that the Bank of England has given to crypto companies that operate in the UK to disclose if they're holding crypto assets or not. Now, they haven't said to disclose if they're holding it for somebody else, but I'm assuming that's also under it. They haven't said it, but I'm assuming it's under it as well. All they said is to disclose if they hold crypto assets or not, or if they're going to be purchasing more or not. And they have until 24th of March, 2025 to submit their essentially filings. The PRA emphasized that the information will inform its policymaking, including essentially the frameworks for managing crypto assets and exposures. This initiative essentially aligns with the global Basel frameworks, which guides the treatment of crypto assets in the UK. The Bank of England is particularly interested in understanding how firms are navigating risk associated with tokenized assets and stablecoins while engaging in crypto-related business activities. Now, this doesn't also state regarding crypto exchanges. It hasn't stated crypto exchanges, but it could also fall in that category as well. They're referring mainly towards crypto companies or companies that are holding crypto assets. They haven't specifically said we're talking about exchanges here and they have to reveal who their customers are or so on. None of that. They just want to know if companies are holding crypto assets or not. Back in July, the Bank for International Settlements partnered with the Bank of England on a project called Project Patrix to track stablecoin reserves. The project hoped to help regulators with near real-time essentially data on stablecoins, liabilities, and backing essentially assets, utilizing data collections, storage, and analysis technologies. Similarly, the current data collection request aims to analyze the costs and benefits of potential regulatory approaches and establish a baseline for monitoring developments in the sector. According to the statements, not all firms are required to submit a response. The PRA clarified that only entities with relevant crypto asset exposure or activities need to provide information. However, firms are asked to complete essentially sections of data templates that apply to their operations, and nail return is not required for those essentially without exposure. So it's the way they're asking essentially from the Bank of England, the way they're asking crypto companies in the UK if they hold crypto is a bit weird because they haven't outlined, are they talking about exchanges? They haven't outlined if it is exchanges, do they have to also reveal their customers? Or if it's private companies that are holding crypto assets for clients, do they have to reveal who their customers are? They haven't outlined much. All they've said is, if you are a company in the UK that's holding crypto, you have to tell the Bank of England by 24th of March 2025. That's all they said. So it essentially leaves a lot of gray areas, you could pretty much say. So I would say for the time being, it's still safe. Now, what we're going to be talking about next, moving on from the Bank of England to the market structure bill. Now, I reviewed yesterday that essentially French Hill representative is the chosen person to be in control of rules and regulations and policies for the banking sector, for coming up with rules and regulations for the crypto sector. And he is the chosen person by essentially Donald Trump, which is incredible as well. And he's very pro-crypto. But all we talked about yesterday is he's chosen and he's pro-crypto. That's amazing. Today, we actually got information on what this man is going to be achieving in the first 100 days under essentially Trump's administration in America and what he's going to be doing for the crypto space in the first 100 days. We actually have information on that. So here it is. Market structure bill on the agenda in the first 100 days. Rep. French Hill. Congressman French Hill recently appeared on CNBC and said that the United States desperately needs a crypto market structure bill, which he described as top priority for the Republican Party. The top priority for the Republican Party, which, by the way, have a trifecta with the governors and the House of Representatives and the presidency and so on. Republicans are pretty much leading the way in every department in the US. And the top priority for Republicans in the US is a crypto bill, creating a market structure for the crypto space in America. And that's only because of the crypto fair share pack as well. Ripple and Coinbase and Kraken and Crypto.com have been giving donations to politicians in the US who are now pro-crypto. You can see where this is going. According to Rep. essentially French Hill, GOP majority leader Steve aims to introduce a comprehensive crypto market structure bill within the first 100 days of the upcoming legislative session. French also criticized the current essentially regulatory approach on the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, Gary Gensler. He said, "We don't have rules of the road under Chairman Gary Gensler. We just have regulations by enforcements. This is not helping America succeed, not helping technological advances, innovation for Web3, or the use of blockchain in publicly traded companies and financial services. The approval of a market structure bill will lift the regulatory uncertainty that has hung over the US crypto industry for years. Pro-crypto legislations could pave the way for the US to foster digital asset innovation and prevent crypto firms from offshoring. The sweeping electoral victory of the Republican Party in November and the resignation of Gary Gensler from the SEC have industry executives optimistic about the future of digital asset regulations in the US. In May, Congress passed the Financial Innovation Technology for the 21st Century, the FIT21 bill. The market structure bill outlined a comprehensive regulatory framework for digital assets. Unfortunately, the bill was halted in the Senate and was never passed into law. Nestled within the FIT21 bill, legislation was a provision to regulate assets under essentially either the SEC or the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, depending on the specific digital asset level of decentralization. President-elect Donald Trump is reportedly considering essentially handing the CFTC oversight over the crypto during his upcoming term, which would also clarify most cryptocurrency projects as commodities if they meet the criteria. Trump also nominated pro-crypto essentially Paul Atkins to replace Gary Gensler as the SEC chairman and cited Paul Atkins' role as the co-chairman of the Digital Chambers Token Alliance as one of the reasons for the nomination. So, as I said about 10-20 minutes ago, the first 100 days of Trump's presidency is going to be incredibly vital. One, a perspective coming from Trump himself. Trump yesterday, as I revealed, went essentially into the stock exchange and talked about how America is going to be leading the way when it comes to the corporate sector, when it comes to blockchain and crypto and so on. And then today we also have French talking about the 100 days again and how the first 100 days are going to be absolutely vital, and how he talks about the Republican Party have the majority vote and the Republican Party's top priority is regulating the crypto space in America within the first 100 days. That's why it's so critical. The amount of money that should be flowing in within the first 100 days is going to be ridiculous. If things move smoothly, which they should do, because the Republicans are pretty much leading in every category, and Trump is the president, and everybody that's chosen so far is pro-crypto, and they're getting rid of the FDIC chairman, they're going to dismantle an entire government department that's been against the crypto space from day one, the FDIC, completely. They're going to dismantle it. So the way things are going already, and Trump hasn't taken his seat yet, which is January 20th. Excellent. And the way things should be moving forward is going to be even better. Because the first 100 days are going to be absolutely incredible. The amount of money, you're going to lose count. But only if you're positioned correctly. Only if you're positioned correctly inside the market space. Choose crypto projects that will benefit from the rules and regulations coming in, that will benefit from the institutions coming in, that will benefit from the banks coming in. So you get their money. So the money that comes in from the banks and institutions goes towards projects you're already holding before their money enters. Don't be holding on to Donkey token or Frog token or Camel token or Zebra token when the institutions start flowing in their wallets into the market space, because not a single penny from any institution is going to go to Zebra token or Donkey token, because in that scenario, with the rules and regulations and the banks and institutional money entering the crypto space, the only donkey in that scenario is going to be you holding Donkey token. So position yourselves correctly. It's very, very vital. This is your only chance to really make something of yourself, okay? The previous bull runs inside the crypto space were absolutely nothing compared to what's about to happen now with the entire world going pro-crypto, because one of the biggest market space in the world is about to become a crypto hub. A lot of people still are not comprehending that news. And some people are still saying, oh, well, the market's going to move the same cycles as usual. How? The same cycles as usual, never had rules and regulations, never had America becoming the capital hub, never had banks and institutional money entering, never had Bitcoin ETFs and Ethereum ETFs and altcoin ETFs, never had every country in jurisdiction talking about how they're going to be entering the crypto space and bringing their wallets with them. Previous cycles never had that. So look, it's incredibly vital that this is pretty much your only chance inside the crypto space to really make it. But you have to be positioned correctly in the right projects. Your only chance. Don't ruin it. Now, Pantoro founder. Bitcoin is then gold. Bitcoin is better than gold as a reserve asset. A perspective coming from Pantoro's founder. Now, Dan, who is the founder and managing partner of Pantoro Capital, made it clear that he thinks crypto is a better reserve investment than gold. Speaking with the CNBC, Moorhead compared to the developments of blockchain technology to historically financial innovations and expressed some serious optimism about the crypto and blockchain space, especially as more and more institutions expose themselves to it. He said presently most institutions really have almost zero exposure to blockchain. So once they start engaging in the space, it should do well. Moorhead cited also that regulatory uncertainty as a key hurdle for institutional adoption, pointing to ongoing legal actions involving major crypto firms. These developments, he noted, have created hesitation among pension funds, endowments, and other large investors getting involved inside the crypto space. He called for a clear regulatory guideline to facilitate broader institutional participation inside the market space, which is about to happen. One of the Moorhead's bold claims was that Bitcoin outperforms gold as a reserve asset, highlighting the US government's current gold reserves. He argued that Bitcoin offers a more efficient alternative for national reserves. According to Moorhead, the US already owns 1% of the world's Bitcoin supply, and it would be great for the US to also take a lead in Bitcoin holdings. Go to digital gold, Bitcoin is much better, he said. He also expressed optimism about the long-term trajectory of cryptocurrency markets, noting that Bitcoin's price move and essentially performance has consistently doubled annually over the past decade. Bitcoin has more than doubled this year, but that's not unusual, he said. Moorhead suggested that 2025 could be a pivotal year for essentially for crypto. 2025, the perspective again coming from another CEO, 2025 is going to be a pivotal year for crypto, with regulatory clarity expected to unlock significant institutional interest and money. He also sees stablecoins as an area for poised growth. Well, if stablecoins are poised to growth, which stablecoin is very poised to growth is RLUSD. And what does RLUSD benefit? XRP. While some major corporations remain hesitant to add Bitcoin to their balance sheets, Moorhead believes insurance companies, pension funds, and endowments will drive the next phase of market expansions for crypto space in general. With clearer rules, he argued institutions would increasingly view blockchain as a viable asset class. Facts. They definitely will be. But again, another perspective from essentially another CEO, quite a big CEO to be fairly honest, talking about how the next clientele or entering the crypto space are institutions, which means institutional money, which means they're going to be going towards legitimate assets. And he's also said that a lot of people, as I said, are not comprehending that what's about to happen next. Now, before we talk about the next news, which is regarding VanEck, and recently I reviewed Bitwise's perspective on the market space, how they see 2025 happening. Now we're going to be going through essentially VanEck and how VanEck sees 2025 happening, what they see could possibly happen in 2025. But before we go through their perspective, let's go inside the comment section first. As I said previously, this is live, which means if you do have a question, put it outside the comment section. More than happy to answer the questions you may have. So let's see what's going on inside the comment section, and then we go straight into the next news, which is regarding VanEck and 2025 predictions in the market space. Top 50 cryptos can get you financially free in the next 2 years. Ooh, no. That's too broad. I understand what you're saying, but that's way too broad. Not top 50. It's some in the top 50 that can really do well for you. Not every single crypto project in the top 50 will do well. Institutions are not lining up to buy the entire top 50. They're lining up to buy crypto projects that will benefit the most, or benefit their company, or take their company to the next level. So too broad to say top 50. Way too broad. 100% facts. But some in top 50 are good, not all. 100% facts. Thank you, Miles, for giving me a good advice. No promptana, anytime. Newcomers, Miles is free. Miles is free. Please keep that in mind. That's true, I am. So let's go, Scott. Good evening, Miles. My apologies, I'm late. Lena, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Newcomers, Miles is free, as always. Being free. Let's go, Scott. A day after my birthday, regarding that bank news. Bank of England. Let's go, Scott. Miles is absolutely perfect. Adi, thanks so much for the kind words. And Denise, let's go as well. Miles, can you remind me of the cryptos that you mentioned 3 days ago that surged about 2% yesterday? Yes, the crypto project that I mentioned yesterday, the day before yesterday, was AVA. It's Travalo, essentially a project. Travalo is like a booking agency.com. It's like booking.com. You can book travels and hotels and so on. AVA was basically under them. And I mentioned AVA. The next day, AVA token did 200%, 282% to be exact. But yeah, that's what it was. The paper that I can't believe we are at the end. It's incredible. Low, let's go, Denise. And the paper that I thought it was on it. I mean, I believe it, but I don't believe it. Which positions are good, according to you, if the regulations and banks invest? Which positions are good, according to me, if the banks and institutions invest, which they will do? Financial category, XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR. It's pretty much all you need. Teach Miles, let's go, Stormy. Honestly, it's all you need. XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR is pretty much all you need. The rest is good to have. ACH is good because you make a profit on it. The more the Ethereum ecosystem grows, the more ACH will be growing alongside it, which is good. Chainlink is a great project as well. It will grow, will do very well for itself. There's a lot of partnerships, a lot of contracts in place. Near Protocol will do well for itself. AVAX will do incredibly well for itself as well. There's a lot of crypto projects that I would, on the side as well. But look, for me, it's always the financial category. XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR. You know what? I'll add some more. So XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR, AVAX, Chainlink, ADA, Near, Sol, obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ton. There's quite a lot of crypto projects, but the main ones: XRP, XLM, XDC, and HBAR. Hi, Miles. HBAR or ACH? I'm buying before Christmas. Thanks. HBAR or ACH? HBAR. But ACH is still incredible. Michael Saylor said only Bitcoin ETF will get approved. Exactly. On the topic of Michael Saylor, he did say only Bitcoin's ETF will get approved. And what happened? The day Michael Saylor on live stage said Bitcoin ETF is the only ETF that will get approved. I said on that same day that Michael Saylor said those words, that Bitcoin ETF is the only ETF that will get approved. I said BS. I said we're going to get a lot more ETFs happening. Within 24 hours, we had the Ethereum ETF being approved. Cardano, yes, ADA's on that list as well. Jamie Dimon came out with some nonsense too. Yes, he did. Now, VanEck is what we're going to talk about next. VanEck's crypto predictions for 2025, bull market, Bitcoin reserves, AI agents, and more. VanEck has outlined its top 10 crypto predictions for 2025. We talked about Bitwise's top 10 predictions for the crypto space, but now we're talking about VanEck's top 10 essential predictions for the market space for 2025. VanEck predicts the crypto bull market to hit a medium-term peak in Q1 and set new highs in Q4 in 2025. It believes that the crypto bull market will persist through 2025, reaching its first peak in the first quarter. It projects Bitcoin to be valued at around 180,000, with Ethereum trading above 6,000, with essentially other crypto projects doing well for themselves as well. Following the first peak, it anticipates a 30% retracement for BTC, with altcoins facing sharper declines as the market consolidates during the summer period. However, it noted that the recovery is likely in the fall, which with major tokens regaining momentum and reclaiming previous all-time highs by the end of the year. Going further, it predicts that the US embraces Bitcoin with strict reserves and foresees an increased crypto adoption. VanEck predicts that by 2025, either the federal government or at least one US state, likely Pennsylvania, Florida, or Texas, will establish a Bitcoin reserve. With new SEC leaderships, multiple new spot crypto ETPs will be approved. Ethereum's ETPs will include staking. Ethereum's ETPs will include Ethereum's ETFs and ETPs will include staking. What did I say? About 2 days ago, 3 days ago, about a month ago, I also said the same thing. I said that what's going to happen regarding Ethereum is that the Ethereum ETF filings are going to refile. Everybody that has an Ethereum ETF is going to refile and add staking capabilities to it, because that's the only thing that Ethereum brings to the table as essentially as an ETF, staking. And I said there's going to be a massive refiling for Ethereum ETFs that already exist to add staking capabilities. Interesting enough, VanEck has said the exact same words, that multiple new spot, essentially crypto ETPs will be added and approved, and Ethereum ETFs and ETPs will include staking, so refiling. With both Ethereum and Bitcoin ETPs will be allowed in-kind transactions and redemptions. Its third prediction is that the value of tokenized securities exceeds $50 billion. VanEck thinks that 2025 will be the breakthrough year for tokenized securities to launch on open, essentially source blockchains, as entities like DTCC explore bridging in terms of public and private blockchains. Next, it noted that stablecoins are poised to revolutionize payments, with daily settlements volumes projected to reach $300 billion by the end of 2025, tripling from the current essentially $100 billion per day. One of the most compelling narratives VanEck believes will translate into massive traction in 2025 is also AI agents. Now, regarding the stablecoin space, is definitely going to be growing without a doubt, but also now moving on to AI agents. We'll come back to stablecoins, but AI agents, these agents essentially generated significant revenues in the last month of 2024, and their on-chain activity is projected to skyrocket as they expand beyond DeFi into social media, gaming, and consumer applications in 2025. So 2025 is going to be very big for AI as well. VanEck predicts Bitcoin's layer 2s will reach 100,000 Bitcoins in total value locked, building on the explosive 600% growth in 2024. Further, it foresees Ethereum's essentially blob space generating essentially $1 billion in fees, driven by explosive essentially in layer 2 adoptions and roll-ups and optimizations and high-fee use cases like tokenized assets and enterprise applications. It foresees DeFi hitting all-time highs with $4 trillion in DEX volumes and $200 billion in total value locked, fueled by AI-related tokens. Consumers facing essentially dApps and tokenized assets driving liquidity and adoption. NFTs trading essentially volumes are projected to rebound to $30 billion in 2025. Despite the downturn of the past years, it noted that standout projects have essentially defied the trend, the leveraging strong community bonds. Finally, it oversees that the dApp tokens narrow the performance gap with the layer 1 tokens. And in 2024, layer 1 blockchains, obviously tokens outperformed dApps tokens by 2x. But the launch of innovative essentially dApps in AI, decentralized and physical infrastructure networks, DePINs, is expected to drive a performance shift. So that is basically a perspective coming from VanEck on how they see the market space. They see the crypto market space in terms of the crypto market space growing in 2025. They see the prices going higher in Q1, slowing down maybe in Q2, Q3 going back up again, Q4 going even higher throughout 2025. They're also seeing throughout 2025 putting the crypto market to one side, doing very well for itself. They say that essentially the AI space is going to do very well for itself as well. Saying the gaming space is going to do well for itself. The whole Bitcoin reserves in terms of states coming through, they're saying either Pennsylvania or Florida or Texas is going to pull the trick and essentially do a Bitcoin ETF. My perspective, I think they're very close at essentially simultaneously launching, and in a few months apart, maybe in some cases, but that's basically what's going to be happening. But everything we've talked about previously is basically what VanEck has stated, with the crypto space climbing higher and higher. with rules and regulations coming in, with more ETFs happening, with more ETF refilings happening for Ethereum to add staking capabilities, and so on. Pretty much everything we talked about. But those are VanEck's perspectives, also matching Bitwise's perspectives as well. Now, moving away from VanEck's market space to Societe Generale. Societe Generale and Banque de France. Banque de France is the central bank of France. They conducted a blockchain, essentially, transaction together, but it was a different type of transaction inside the blockchain space, which was successful. Now, before we talk about that, let's go inside the comment section first. As I said previously, this is a live, which means if you do have any questions, put it down inside the comment section. I'm more than happy to answer the questions you may have. Before we go through the next news, let's go inside the comment section first. Let's see what's going on there. Cardano, great. Jimmy Demon, nonsense, yep. Miles, you missed my earlier comment about Larry Fink. What did you say about Larry Fink? Larry Fink. Do we have any XRP news? Good evening, brother Miles and CMF. That was your previous comments. I don't think your Larry Fink comment came up. That's why. I think you need to retype your Larry Fink comment because he's not here. So should I swap my ACH back for HBAR? Could do, preferably. It's better. HBAR is better, obviously, than ACH. ACH is a good project as well, but HBAR is obviously better. Top 10 will do well, I would say, apart from Tether, obviously. You say top 10 will do well apart from Tether. No, because in the top 10, we don't have XLM, we don't have XDC. Because there's quite a few crypto projects missing in top 10, to be fairly honest as well. But top 10 will do well for itself. You know, Bitcoin will do well, Ethereum will do well, Solana will do well, XRP will do well, and so on. But there's still quite a few crypto projects missing from top 10 that should be in it. But, you know, top 10 will change a little bit. What's your opinions on Flare? Oh, I'm buying my last bag before Christmas, as when Trump comes in XRP. Let's go Woodhouse. What's your opinions on Flare? Flare, good project. Nothing bad about to say. Good project. Do you reckon I should start practicing the millionaire walk? And do you think I should practicing? Do you reckon I should start practicing the millionaire walk in 2025 or wait until 2028 if I hold a small bag with the right projects? Is the 3Xs and HBAR? Look, 2025 is going to be incredible. 2026 is going to be incredible. 2027 is going to be... Look, 2025 onwards, it's essentially with everybody coming in. So stop practicing, I would say. Starting is 2025, 2026, 2027, and so on. As the years go by, it's going to be incredible. Low. Why are people asking financial advice when it's available to them online? Nobody's asking financial advice. Everybody's just asking for personal preference, to be fairly honest. Now, Societe Generale and Banque de France completing a transaction together. Societe Generale has completed the first repo transaction using blockchain technology within the Euro systems in central bank. According to their announcements, the transaction was carried out in collaboration with Banque de France through Societe Generale's subsidiary for digital assets Forge. A repo transaction, short for repurchase agreement, is a financial transaction where one party sells a security to another with the promise to repurchase it at a later date or essentially at a specific price set. It is essentially a short-term borrowing mechanism where securities serve as collateral. There was a successful testing on blockchain. In this case, the Forge transaction, the repo, involved tokenized bonds issued in 2020 on the Ethereum blockchain as collateral, while central bank digital currency CBDCs issued by the Banque de France was exchanged as cash. Societe Generale said the transaction demonstrated the technical feasibilities of interbanking refinancing operations on chain. It illustrates the potential of a central bank digital currency to improve the liquidity of digital financial essentially securities. Securities tokenizations involves converting a traditional debt instrument like a bond into a digital token representing its ownership. When the trade in the blockchain in terms of those tokens have a record of transactions and faster settlement times compared to traditional systems. For instance, the United States debt instruments tokenized on-chain by private companies reached $2.9 billion in December 2024. The Banque de France has been exploring the use cases for its CBDCs since 2021, when it piloted a trial involving several banks in the country's debt market, including Societe Generale, BNP Paribas, Credit Agricole, and CIB and HSBC. The institutions have also experimented with cross-border transactions in 2024. The central bank signed a collaboration with Hong Kong's Monetary Authority for wholesale CBDCs and tokenization projects. And likewise, Societe Generale has been developing its digital asset businesses. In September, the company announced a partnership with trading platforms Bitpanda and expanded the reach of its euro-dominated stablecoin, dubbed the Euro, essentially convertible Euro CV. The bank is among the world's largest financial groups, holding nearly $1.6 trillion in total assets, and so on. Now, in terms of what the testing actually was between Societe Generale and Banque de France, and why it's a kind of an important test, was they tried to do a transaction that was started at in the year of 2020, which now essentially a few days ago that transaction passed and it was successful. Not a few days ago, but yesterday, and it was successful. So it was a test to see if you can do a small term essentially loan and will it work on blockchain, and it worked. A small time, essentially a short-term loan, was a successful test, and they're going to be doing much more long-term loans processing and so on. But in general, the whole borrowing and lending services inside the crypto space needs to be fixed, which it is going to be, which it is already, because the testing so far on borrowing and lending have all been successful. We haven't had any sort of failures in blockchain testings, or no announcements at all whatsoever from any sort of centralized banks. And this one was also successful as well. Short-term lending and borrowing passed, which is something that's going to be happening more often inside the crypto space, to be fairly honest. Now, let's go inside the comment section before we go through the next news. The next news is going back to the Bank of England news, but this time around on CBDCs. So I'm going to give you an update of what level we're at when it comes to CBDCs. But before we do that, let's go inside the comment section first. I can't wait, Miles. Let's go Woodhouse. Absolutely 100% on Heath. On H4. People ask for advice because some of this stuff is hard to comprehend. I know for one, my mother is 77. She doesn't understand this stuff. Listening to Miles breaks it down to understandable language. Let's go Stormy. Do you all think digital currencies will be connected to real ID? Do we all think essentially digital currencies will be connected to a digital ID? Yes, CBDCs are going to be connected to social credit systems. Or in some countries, they're calling it carbon footprints. But yes, there's been testings about that. I've talked about in 2023, where China did testings on social credit systems connected to CBDC wallets, or essentially the World Economic Forum talking about in the Princess of Holland and the Bill Gates Foundation were testing on essentially the feasibility of connecting social credit systems to CBDC wallets. There's been so many testings. China did a social credit system wallet test trial with 1,400 people, where people were given a test trial CBDC, a very long time ago, test trial CBDC money and a social credit system, and they're both connected to each other. And if they brought vegetables, it was +1. If they brought alcohol or tobacco, it was -1, for example, and so on. But yeah, we've talked about this before regarding CBDC matters. And everybody at the end of that test in China loved the idea of being controlled, which makes no sense, to be fairly honest. But yeah, we've talked about the idea of CBDCs and social credit systems being connected together. Yes. And I've said previously what you're supposed to do to not get stuck in CBDCs, because it's going to happen either way. The idea of social credit systems or digital IDs or carbon footprints, whatever you want to be calling them, the idea of stopping that, it's never going to be possible. Nobody's ever going to be able to stop social credit systems or carbon footprint matters and so on. That's never going to be able to, no one's going to be able to stop it. So what you do instead, you try to find a way to benefit from the idea of that happening by going for the backburners of the projects that are going to be launching social credit systems and CBDCs and so on. That's how you benefit from the idea. But standing in front of social credit systems, standing in front of carbon footprints, standing in front of CBDCs is a losing battle. There's an old saying, if you can't beat them, join them. And it's true, because nobody can stand. And it doesn't matter how much people protest against the idea of social credit systems and protest against the idea of CBDCs and so on. Look, the reason why the world is the way it is because the majority are asleep. And sometimes the majority wake up, but then they go back to sleep. So the world will always be the way it is. Brainwashed, basically, in the most simplest way. So, doesn't matter how much people protest or shout about or scream about it, social credit systems will still happen, CBDCs will still happen, or carbon footprint matters will still happen, which means what do you do to position yourself? Go for the projects that are going to be creating these things. Go for a project inside the blockchain space that's going to be creating social credit systems. Go for a project that's going to be creating CBDCs and so on, and benefit from it, because we can't stop it. We might as well make money from it. And as selfish as that may sound, what we're going to do? Protest about it? Sure, if that works. France is the #1 country that protests about everything. The French people protest about everything. And France is as worse as any other country in this world. Nothing's changed in France. Essentially compared to the rest of the world, we're all pretty much in the same boat. So the idea of even trying to stop that from happening is never going to be possible. You're never going to be able to stop and go against CBDCs or social credit systems or carbon footprints. So benefit from them instead. Choose a crypto project, choose a blockchain project that's going to be creating CBDCs, choosing a blockchain project that's going to be creating social credit systems and so on, and benefit from it. Or you can be the one that screams and shouts and pretends change is going to be happening. Not saying you're going to be doing that, but just in general. So on the idea of, do you all think digital currencies will be connected to real IDs? I know a lot. I've talked about it a lot since 2023 until now, on live. I know about the study tests from different jurisdictions. I know what levels each country's central bank is at already. I know the percentage of centralized banks in essentially CBDCs. I know the percentage of essentially what percentage of banks are at which levels. Are they at essentially at the testing stages or the implementation testing stages or essentially at research stages? I know a lot about the whole idea of central banks and in terms of CBDCs and social credit systems and so on. And I know for a fact going against it is a losing battle. Just takes patience. Yeah. Not saying you're saying these things, but just in general, so you know. Digital IDs will contain digital codes, which will link to passports and driver licenses, banking, and social credit systems. So, yeah, basically, exactly, yeah. Miles, the amount you have taught me over these years, more than school has ever. Let's go, Woodhouse. I don't trust anything Bill Gates has his dirty little hands in. The man is evil. I agree 100%. Our digital ID is now on our government, my government accounts, which everyone has to have, so they are asking us to do it, but they are pushing the notion that it's going to be great for our privacy. Yeah, which is, yeah. Everybody will have all this, even if the creators and the hidden elites, everyone will have their codes and QR codes on their foreheads, basically. Thank you, Miles, for the live shows. No problem, Tana, anytime. Which cryptos will CBDCs be using as ISOs? So it's very simple to be able to tell. I've got my tomatoes ready to be thrown at 15 minutes of CBDCs. Which crypto project is going to be chosen in terms of CBDCs is very simple. There's about 24,000 plus crypto projects, 24,000 plus crypto projects, let's say so. Only one crypto project has won multiple CBDC awards and has an active CBDC platform. It's XRP. And also the Bank of International Settlements, which is in control of about 63 centralized banks around the world, and about 98% of centralized banks are in CBDCs, according to Bank of International Settlements and the International Monetary Fund. There's a PDF document titled, Cross-Border Payments, and on the PDF document, Cross-Border Payments, public information from the Bank of International Settlements, it states Ripple on that document. And we've also had centralized banks documents coming out with XLP testings and XLP ledger testings as well. We've also had essentially bank members talking about the XLP ledger from their centralized banks on live stage audiences. So never mind the PDF document stating that, but we also have live stage documents as well, live stage essentially speeches. The Elon chips, yeah. Trump portrays himself to be good, but he's a part of the big government agenda, the NWO. Everybody is. Everybody is. Trump is just going to make things move faster. But everybody is. Everybody who's sitting at that high position seat is a part of that group. It's just some move faster than others. Request RQ token, fantastic. More money? Is that another meme coin you're talking about? Is that another meme coin, more money? But good to see more money. How you doing? How's it going, Miles? It's going great, Zach. How's it going for you? Yeah, but the narrative they are trying to spin us is that CBDCs are a long way off. We are nowhere near ready. Except we know the truth from you providing us the correct info, Miles. Shelly, thank you so much for the kind words. And yeah, it's true. What Shelly has said is facts. Also the last part as well. But what Shelly has said is facts. CBDCs, every government will tell you CBDCs are far away. The idea of central bank digital currencies are so far away that we don't need to think about it. Is what essentially said to us a long time ago. In 2023, I told everyone that CBDCs are not that far away in any sort of a way. In 2023, governments were talking about how CBDCs are coming in 2029 or 2030. Some governments even said 2035. I said they're all lying. I said that every single one of these centralized banks are lying to people. They're going to be coming a lot more sooner. And when governments were saying 2030 for centralized banks, for CBDCs, I said lies. And then those same banks said 2028 they're coming out with CBDCs. So they're still lying. So they said then 2027. I said they're still lying. They went all the way down from 2030 to 2024 and 2025. And I said, okay, now we get into the truth. The only reason that the governments are moving incredibly fast to the idea of CBDCs, there's two reasons behind it. One is that the banking system does need to transition to a whole new system because the previous system is completely ruined and banks need liquidity. That's the first reasonings. Two, the reason why banks need to move quicker towards CBDCs and governments need to move quicker towards CBDCs is so that people don't catch on to what's happening. If governments take too long to adapt into a CBDC world, to get people into a CBDC world, if they take too long, then a lot more people will start researching CBDCs, which would cause a massive, havoc situation, a hectic situation. So the faster they move to CBDCs, they're closing that window down on people realizing what's really happening around them. If they move too slow towards a CBDC, then there's more time for people to realize, hang on a minute, what's happening? Why are we moving towards this and that and that and this? So there's two reasons why they're moving incredibly fast. One is because the old system is completely ruined. They need to move to a new system and the banks need liquidity. Two, the longer they take, the more light bulbs will go off. And people realizing, well, hang on a minute, what's really happening here? But the faster they move and essentially close that window down, the faster they can get people adapting to CBDCs and people not realizing what's really happened. So that's why they have to move fast. So that's why they're moving incredibly quicker to CBDCs. But they're lying to people saying, 2030 CBDCs. In reality, it's 2024 and 2025. We've had some CBDCs in 2024. We had India releasing CBDCs in 2024. We have a few Middle Eastern countries releasing the idea of CBDCs in test trial payments, and some Asian countries with test trial payments. 2025 is going to be a lot more other countries releasing CBDCs. But the reason why they tell people, it's 2030 CBDCs, so people think to themselves, oh, I have a lot of time until we go digital. You don't have a lot of time, but they'll tell you have a lot of time. So you think to yourself, oh, I'll, research it when the time comes along. 2029, I'll look into CBDCs or what digital payments are. Is what they want you to think. In reality, it's like 2025. The list of countries coming out with CBDCs in 2025 is ridiculous. And those are the same countries that told people 2030 CBDCs to make people think they have time. You don't have time. They're trying to close the window down on you so you don't go towards it and research, and so your light bulb goes off. Also, another thing you should know, you know the word Satoshi Nakamoto? Just a heads up, the word Satoshi, and all of this was a plan anyways from COVID times, but I've explained how that works as well. But the word Satoshi Nakamoto is, first of all, it's a Japanese word, so you got to say it backwards, so it's Nakamoto Satoshi. And Nako and Moto and Satoshi in Japanese basically means central intelligence. If you didn't know, now you know. But as I said previously, this was all a setup. The world going towards a digital space was all a setup. The World Bank does testings on blockchain payments. The World Bank does testings on blockchain payments. It was successful, and a few weeks later, we had COVID. During COVID, they were closing down bank branches. During COVID, they were closing down bank branches. They were closing down cash points. And they needed an excuse to get people away from cash, which is ironically what they said in the World Economic Forum. In the World Economic Forum, they said they needed a reason to get people away from cash. And what's a better reason than cash carries germs? Cash carries germs. So during COVID, we had a massive boost of people using Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, Google Pay, and people stopped using cash because cash carries germs. World Bank does testings on blockchain payments, successful. COVID happens. Banks and ATMs and cash points and branches start closing down. People start using more mobile payments. And then the Russia and Ukraine war situation happens, which creates a bigger gap and a distraction between the people. And as time goes by, we're getting rules and regulations, and we have countries pretending, we have governments pretending they don't like crypto, they don't like CBDCs, they don't like blockchain. They're the ones that insulted, they're the ones that set up everything. People think that essentially this world of blockchain came about out of surprise. 2008 crash, okay? And then straight away we have Bitcoin coming out next. Nothing in this world happens by coincidence when it's related to the financial sector. Anything involving money, genuinely, anything involving lots of amounts of money in this world doesn't happen by coincidence. You would never see a random war suddenly happening because it's money related. Therefore, it was coordinated to happen. You would never see any situation involving the financial sector doesn't happen by coincidence. It's coordinated in this world. 2008 crash, Bitcoin comes next. World Bank does testings on blockchain, successful, COVID happens. People start moving away from cash because cash carries germs. At the same time, the World Bank was doing testings on blockchain. Nothing in this world happens by coincidence when it comes to the financial sector. At a large scale like that, it's all coordinated. But yeah, even the word, Satoshi Nakamoto, it's technically a Japanese word. So you got to put it the other way around. So it's Nakamoto Satoshi. Nakamoto, basically central intelligence. Nakamoto Satoshi basically means central intelligence in Japanese. They always leave you hints behind anyways. Everything they do, they always leave you hints behind. But again, it's about positioning yourself correctly. Just position yourself correctly because this is a setup. It's set up. Blockchain is, a lot of people assume, blockchain is here to, decentralization and people getting away with their data and privacy and, and so it's not, it's just all set up. So just position yourselves correctly and play by their rules. People who think they're inside the blockchain space, they're going against the government or they're going against, the higher up hierarchies and, the people that are sitting at these tables that nobody's ever heard of. And you're going against the system if you're in blockchain. You're playing in their hands, but at least play it properly. Everything is set up. So it's all about positioning yourselves correctly. And they'll let you, keep your cryptos. They'll let you keep your money as long as you stick your head down. You try to stick your head up with all that crypto money, they'll take it away from you in seconds in a digital world. So it's all about positioning yourselves correctly because everything is set up. Choose a project that's going to be the backbone of CBDCs. Choose a crypto project that's the backbone of CBDCs. Choose a project that's going to be the backbone of social credit systems. Choose the correct project that's going to be the backbone of whatever these government steps are going to be back to back. But the social credit systems for CBDCs is what vitally matters. Choose the project that's going to be the backbone for data at a government level. And you're pretty much good to go. If you wonder what those projects are, XRPs for CBDCs and social credit systems. But look, here it is. The Bank of England, in terms of examining the privacy-enhancing technologies for CBDCs. The Bank of England, the United Kingdom's central bank, has released a paper today on their own website in collaboration with the Massachusetts Institute of Technology Digital Currency Initiatives, MIT DCI, exploring the privacy-enhancing technologies, PETs, for the possible digital pounds. The paper is the result of an increasing enthusiasm from many countries around the globe for some form of central bank digital currency, CBDCs. This is from the Bank of England's website today, released. The digital form of the country's fiat currency, regulated by central banks, which has come into conflict with an equally strong anti-CBDC lobby, whose primary concerns revolve around the thorny issues of state surveillance and citizen privacy. State surveillance and citizen privacy. According to the Atlantic Council CBDC, here is what stages we're at right now. An update from today on CBDCs, wholesale CBDCs and retail CBDCs. Here's an update of where the world is at right now. So the Atlantic Council's CBDC tracker today, as of December 2024, this is what it says. 35 retail CBDCs are already in pilot stages. 35 retail CBDCs are already in pilot stages. So that means 35 countries already have an active CBDC for the retail section that's in pilot stages. With 13 more in development, so another 13 countries are in development regarding their retail CBDCs. Additionally, 25 wholesale CBDCs, so that means 25 essentially wholesale CBDCs, institutional CBDCs from 25 countries are also in their pilot stages. 25 countries have their wholesale CBDC for their institutions in pilot stages, 25 countries. With another 11 wholesale CBDCs in development mode right now. So that's your update on where the governments are right now. 35 retail CBDCs, 35 countries have their retail CBDCs already active in the pilot stages. 13 more in progress, 30 more countries in progress. Wholesale CBDCs, about 25 of them, 25 governments have their wholesale CBDCs already active for their pilot stages, and 11 more further in development. CBDCs will be broadly broken down into two main categories, the Bank of England said: retail and wholesale CBDCs. A retail CBDC is a digital currency issued by a central bank for the public use, enabling individuals and businesses to make everyday transactions. A wholesale CBDC, on the other hand, is designed for financial institutions to conduct large-scale interbanking transactions, improving efficiency in the financial systems. 24,000 plus crypto projects, and only one crypto project has an active CBDC platform and has won multiple CBDC essentially awards. And people will still argue till this day that Ripple has no future or XRP is not the chosen one. 24,000 plus crypto projects, only one crypto project has an active CBDC platform that has won multiple CBDC awards, that is listed on the Bank of International Settlements. that is also listed on multiple CDB, essentially central bank PDF documentations around the world. And we're at stages of wholesale CBDCs and retail CBDCs getting to the pilot stages. The former of these two forms of CBDC seems to inspire the greater fears around Big Brother, the overreach government surveillance. While overblown, with essentially these fears are not without foundation, as the monetary system based on blockchains, distributed ledger technology would potentially allow a central bank to track exactly when and how every individual citizen spending their money. For this reason, the Bank of England is currently developing both retail and wholesale CBDCs, partnered with MIT DCI to publish a paper exploring privacy-enhancing solutions. They're talking out their arse. They're not going to be privacy solutions in any sort of way. It's a CBDC. The Bank of England and HM Treasury 2023 consultation paper on digital pound made clear that the rigorous standards of privacy would be fundamental to trust and confidence in digital pounds, and that measures would essentially put in place to ensure the public and the confidence in using any digital pounds, where one to eventually be launched, explained in the paper. You know what's interesting? The Bank of England's new PDF documentation that was released today was about 40 pages. And it starts off with, privacy is the number one priority, top priority for CBDCs is privacy. And then you read on in the PDF documentation, and it talks about how they're going to be sharing your data with third parties. But the first part is they don't have access. They don't know, what your transactions are. Privacy is top priority. Nobody knows what you're spending your CBDCs on. But in the second part, as you read along, it talks about how they're sharing your data of what you're spending on and where you're going for your CBDCs, and they're sharing with third parties. So what happened to the idea of they can't see what you spend it on and they don't know where you spend it? But then you read on and it says they're sharing with third parties where you spend it and how you're spending it. I thought you couldn't see it. I thought basically you couldn't see where I'm spending it or how I'm spending it, but apparently you can when you read on in the PDF document. Because they're talking about the Ross. Look, they're definitely going to know what you're doing in CBDCs. Okay, from head to toe, your life will be controlled. Simplest way to put it. But you can't stop it, is what I'm also trying to say. You can't stop from what's about to happen. The only thing you can do is position correctly in this messed up game so you can benefit. You can benefit from the CBDCs coming in. You can benefit from the rules and regulations coming in. You can benefit from the banks coming in. You can benefit from the institutions coming in. You can benefit from everything coming in. It's all about control, so you can benefit from it. Choosing projects that are going to be controlling the world is your best chance, rather than going against it. So choosing crypto projects that will control the world is your best chance, genuinely, rather than going against it. Can you please list them again on Telegram? So yes, no problem. I'll list on Telegram. We must Gary away from the banking system. There's a great financial shift happening around the world. We must stay away from the financial banking systems. I love the enthusiasm. Let's go. I love the enthusiasm. But living in the reality world that we do live in, it's not possible. Trying to go against the banking system, trying to go against the governments, trying to go against these people is impossible. But position yourselves correctly in what's about to happen, because nobody can stop it, is the smarter move. But I love the enthusiasm. I will start a Just Stop CBDC instead of an orange like the Just Stop the red shirts. There's no point with us. We must store our hard-earned money in Bitcoin. Bad idea. It's an idea you can do, storing your hard-earned money in Bitcoin. But first, maybe finding out who created Bitcoin would be a better idea before storing your money into it. If you see me on the news, don't be surprised. Mind blown. Let's go, Denise. Did Satoshi Nakamoto actually discover BTC? No, Satoshi Nakamoto is a persona of someone who created Bitcoin, or a group of people who created Bitcoin. But Satoshi Nakamoto is a reference to a Japanese or Chinese name, which means you would have to say backwards. So it's not Satoshi Nakamoto, it's Nakamoto Satoshi. And Nakamoto, basically Satoshi, is just another way of saying central intelligence in Japanese. They always leave you hints behind. Hi, Miles and CMF Shelley. Let's go, Miles. Sorry, Ripple. Good to see you. How you doing? Big Brother with a capital C created crypto, and that is who Satoshi Nakamoto is, basically. For some reason, when you say that about his name, it reminds me of the 666 on Masterclass. Miles, I've opened many accounts on like Uphold, as you mentioned, for more existing strategies. Thanks. No problem, Ripple, anytime. My family and friend have stopped laughing at me now. Let's go, Ripple. Thompson, let's go as well. But yeah, nobody can stop CBDCs. Nobody can stop social credit systems. It's impossible. Genuinely impossible. But I love the enthusiasm, from people. But nobody can stop it. So position yourselves correctly is all you can do. Now, on the topic of XRP and Ripple, one company has decided to invest into XRP. So here it is. Ripple receives $100 million for an AI investment, believe it or not. Kaj Labs, the developer behind the on-chain enterprise platform, essentially AI, has unveiled plans to invest $100 million to develop cutting-edge AI tools exclusively for Ripple's XRP ecosystem. The initiative aims to strengthen the integration of AI and blockchain technologies and decentralized finance and enterprise applications on the XRP ledger. The strict focus on Ripple, according to the announcement, AI plans to leverage Ripple's scalable and efficient infrastructure to create AI-powered tools designed to improve automation, streamline business operations, and enable data-driven decision-making for enterprises using XRP. The $100 million investment will be allocated to support research and developments in AI model trainings and deploying enterprise-specific solutions within the XRP ecosystem. This move is poised to bolster enterprise functionalities, offering real-time analytics, predictive insights, and automated workflows to businesses utilizing Ripple's decentralized framework, said the announcement. An on-chain enterprise platform, AI, is recognized for using artificial intelligence to streamline and enhance the efficiency of their business operations. So why Ripple? Why has this CEO of this AI company chosen Ripple? Why have they chosen the XRP ledger for AI? Well, here's his perspective. He cited Ripple is their well-established reputation for scalability and reliability as a crucial in selecting the blockchain as the foundation for this AI expansion of the $100 million. The initiative underscores the increasing insertion of blockchain and artificial intelligence technologies that are rapidly gaining traction among corporate and institutional sectors. The investor says it aims to drive innovation and adoption within decentralized enterprise operations by developing AI solutions optimized for Ripple's XRP ecosystem. On the flip side, the integration of AI into Ripple's decentralized framework could still face scalability, interoperability, and regulatory challenges. As AI becomes more central to decentralized finance and DeFi, and essentially completions will likely increase the decentralized space. Why does this matter? The partnership between Kaj Labs and Ripple illustrates a significant step forward in the convenience of blockchain and artificial intelligence that could transform the enterprise operations by providing more efficient data analytics, automation, and real-time decision-making capabilities. So, one particular company has decided to invest $100 million into the XRP ledger for to benefit XRP. And the reasonings of why they chose the XRP ledger, the very simplest form to say it is, they said the XRP ledger is pretty much the prime chosen one for institutions, for businesses. And this $100 million is going to go towards research and development on the XRP ledger to create AI for businesses. Now, this company could have chosen anybody. This company could have chosen any chain for business developments. They could have chosen Chainlink for business developments. They have a lot of businesses on Chainlink. They could have chosen AVAX. They could have chosen Near. They could have chosen Solana. They could have chosen Cardano. They could have chosen anything. They could have chosen Ethereum for business developments, for AI technology. But they chose the XRP ledger for a reason. which some people still can't see that reason inside the retail section. But a company CEO who has $100 million can see the potential in the XRP ledger. He has $100 million to spend on the XRP ledger because he knows institutions will use the XRP ledger under rules and regulations. But there are people inside the retail section who are hesitating to spend $10 on the XRP ledger because they see it has no future. And then you have a CEO of a company who's investing $100 million on the XRP ledger to bring AI into it for businesses and institutions to use it. But then you have people inside the retail section who are going, XRP, no, I don't see it. I mean, what more could you possibly say? They could have pretty much chosen any chain, because there's a lot of chains out there that have business contracts going, have institutional contracts going, but it chose XRP for a reason. Also, Lena, thank you so much for the £10 donation. Absolutely amazing. Going straight towards the CMF, starting up the CMF hedge fund. Incredible. Thank you so much, Lena, for the £10 donation. Thank you, honestly. And you can avoid them at any stage. You know, request, yeah. Just instead of CBDCs, choose crypto. Yeah, would also. You can. What do you feel all these drone sightings are about in the miles? Something bigger than coming, or maybe fear mongering? Distraction. These drones that are happening in the US, just distraction. Share the live. Great program tonight. Let's go. You have no choice but to use CBDCs. It's correct up to something extent. Okay. Regarding CBDCs, yes, it's true. You will have to use CBDCs, but you can also have crypto assets on the side. So if you're inside the crypto space, great. If you've got legitimate crypto assets, even better. But everybody will have a CBDC wallet. It doesn't matter if you're, holding crypto or not holding crypto, if you're poor or if you're rich or if you're middle class, everybody will have a CBDC wallet. But there will be people who also have crypto assets, and you can still use crypto assets in a digital world, not just CBDCs. You can still use crypto assets in the digital world, not just CBDCs, because the idea of CBDCs is designed for peasants. And I'm in that category, and so is everybody else. If we're not sitting at that table with the people we don't know who they look like or what their names are, then you're a peasant in that category. So we don't know who those people are who are running the show. Nobody knows who those people are. We can assume it's the World Economic Forum, or we can assume it's people above the World Economic Forum, which we've never seen before or never heard of before. So if you're not inside that category of people above the World Economic Forum, then you're essentially a peasant to them. And falling under that category, the reason why I'm saying this is because CBDCs are designed to control the peasants, not them. So for people like them, and there's a lot of them, they want to spend freely. They want to spend comfortably. They want to still have that life of not being controlled, because they don't want to control each other. They want to control us. There's a difference, which means crypto payments will still exist alongside CBDCs, because they're not looking to control each other. They're looking to control us. There's a difference, which means crypto is going to exist alongside CBDCs. Not all cryptos eventually, but some cryptos will. So regarding no choice but to use CBDCs, it's true up to a certain extent. Everybody will have a CBDC wallet, but I did the best I can in regards to preparing for this coming bull run cycle. Very good projects: XRP, XNM, XDC, HBOT, Algorand, Lunacy, Shiba, and etc. Same time, I'm hoping for a crash. Let's go, Thompson. Just like we have no choice but to use the US dollars. Up to a certain extent, yes. In regards, but no, we do have a choice. We can use alternative currencies. That's what you're not getting that part as well. So I'm not bound to use the US dollars. I can use British pounds. It's a legal tender. I can use essentially the euros as a legal tender. I can do international trade with euros. I can do international trade with essentially with dollars. I can do international trade with Great British pounds. So what I'm trying to say is, it's yes, CBDCs will be there 100%, and you're right. Everybody will have, as I said, everybody will have a CBDC wallet, but alongside it, cryptos will still exist. Not all cryptos, but some. Eventually, some only. That's because they don't want to control each other. They want to control us, which means there has to be another outlet. And the outlet is their backbones. Amazing information. Thanks, Miles, about AI and Ripple. No problem, anytime. Any thoughts and opinions in regards to Onyx XCN? Don't go near it. Adapt to the movement instead of staying classic, static. Your businesses need to accept crypto, whatever it is. Yes. HBro better bet ACH than Miles. Yes. HBro is a better bet than ACH. Yes. All my businesses accept crypto, so just adapt. Let's go. What was the name of the company that chose XRP for AI tools? The name is Ottawa AI. Can you talk about the hedge funds? Regulations coming in soon, yes. Can you talk about the hedge fund, Miles? Shelly has informed me about the basic foundations. I would like to know more. Yes. So once we're ready, I'll release what the CMF hedge fund is. But in short terms, the CMF hedge fund is basically going to be the CMF as a collective group investing into the blockchain space, investing into blockchain startup companies, investing into the real estate space, and so on. And everybody can be a part of the CMF hedge fund. It's just a community, essentially, progress. But I'm going to be releasing the plans for it as well, so you can have a better idea. But the short-term idea is that basically it's a hedge fund that's similar to, you could say, BlackRock's footsteps, but instead of BlackRock being a corporate greedy company, this is the CMF hedge fund where everybody actually has a piece of the pie. Everyone will be inside CBDCs because you pay. Everyone will be inside the CBDCs because you pay your taxes, fines, or any payments related to governments and CBDCs, and you receive your salary in CBDCs, so you can't stay away from CBDCs completely. Yes, that's true. Stellar XLM is a currency that is heavily related to CBDCs. Yes, it is. How is Stellar related to CBDCs? Retail section. That's how. When do you think, so Stellar's job, actually, from the World Economic Forum, the World Economic Forum talked about Stellar before. They talked about how Stellar Luminous, XLM, is going to play a vital role in reaching essentially areas where they don't have the capabilities of internet use, so offline CBDC payments and so on. So it's playing a vital role. When do you think the hedge fund will be released? Still time to go. Now, all good things must come to an end, which they have now, basically. So this was the CMF live. If you're watching this for the first time ever, stands for Crypto Mouse family. My name is Miles. I go by the persona of Crypto Mouse. And on this live, you can tune in every single night, Monday to Friday, which today being Friday means the next live episode is going to be Monday. So this was CMF. This was the CMF. This was the CMF live. Stands for Crypto Mouse family. In this live, I talk about the most recent news that's happening around the world in terms of cryptocurrencies, CBDCs, AI, politics, regulations. Vital information for you to know around the world, completely transforming into a digital space. And a disclaimer of this live, as always, is not financial advice, not political advice, and what advice is only for entertainment purposes. So if you're watching this for the first time ever, hope you enjoyed it. Drop a follow, drop a like, drop a comment, retweet, subscribe if you already haven't, and tune in Monday to Friday, 11:25 p.m. UK time onwards, which means, and also this is episode 223 of the CMF Live. This is episode 223, which is incredible. We're on episode 223 right now, which means episode 224 of the CMF Live is going to be on Monday to Friday, 11:25 p.m. UK time. You can tune into this live. We love you, Miles. Thank you so much. Let's go, Stormy. Stormy, see you tomorrow sometime as usual. Bye, Miles. Have a good weekend. Let's go. Woodhouse, have a great weekend as well. See you Monday. Stormy, see you Monday as well. Have a great night, everyone. Let's go, Stormy. And thanks, Shakira. Let's go. Thank you, Miles. Enjoy your weekend. Let's go, Pierre. See you Monday, same time as usual. Amazing show tonight. So much for educating us, Miles. Have a great weekend. T, let's go. See you Monday, same time as usual. I'm tired now. Let's go, Woodhouse. Thanks, Miles. Quick question. Go for it. When a country implements CBDCs, how much time will they give people to convert their money? Depends on its jurisdiction, to be fairly honest. But they'll give you a fairly amount of time, to be fairly honest. Fairly amount of time. Thanks, Miles. We appreciate you. Have a great weekend, everyone. Let's go, Ghost Spawner. Ghost Spawner, see you Monday, same time as usual. Scott, let's go. Episode 223. Miles, thank you. Ripple, no problem, anytime. Good night, Miles. Thank you. JP, see you Monday, same time as usual, brother. Have a great weekend, Miles. And CMF Tanner, see you, brother, on Monday, same time as usual. Good night, Miles and family. CMF, thanks for the info. See you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Let's go for forever. See you on Monday, same time as usual. Are you need short form video editing? Are you in a need short form video editing? Sure, direct message me. Why not? Miles, brilliantly fabulous as usual. Night, everyone. Joe, let's go. See you Monday, same time as usual. We should bring a robot to do Saturday live. We should bring a robot to do Saturday Sunday live. Let's go, Chill Zone. See you Monday, same time as usual. I appreciate you, Mouse. Scott, let's go. See you Monday, same time as usual. Love and respect, brother. Let's go, Scott. See you Monday, same time as usual, brother. Good night, all. Denise, see you tomorrow. See you Monday, same time as usual. Take care, everyone. And thanks again for another brilliant live stream. Too bad I turned in too late. Don't worry. Comatose, Thompson, Scott. See you every Monday, same time as usual. So if you haven't already, like, subscribe, comment, share, retweet on X. If you're watching this, like, comment, retweet, write a comment outside the live, retweet and share and follow. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe as well. If you already haven't, and put a comment on YouTube as well, and put a comment on X. I'll be seeing everybody on Monday, same timing as usual, 11:25 p.m. UK time. Everybody have a great day, have a great night, have a great weekend. I'll see everybody on Monday, same timing as usual for the CMF Live for episode 224 on Monday, 11:25 p.m. UK time. Monday to Friday, this live show is if you watch us for the first time ever. See everybody on Monday, same time as usual. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye all. Let's go with us. Thanks for amazing live, brother. Let's go, Camel. I'll message you, Mile, regarding CMF hedge fund. No problem. Ripple anytime. Thank you for another amazing live. Enjoy your weekend. Let's go. Lena, see you on Monday, same time as usual. Wish CMF all the best and all the money in the world. Let's go, Chill Zone as well. I see everybody on Monday, same time as usual. Everybody have a great weekend. See you on Monday for episode 224. Like, comment, share, subscribe, retweet. See you everyone. CMF, see you on Monday.